Margaret Kuhlman of Soul Astrology. This new moon is near the end of Sagittarius, very close to Saturn. The moon moves into Capricorn within a few hours, almost taking Saturn with it the next day. So although the Sagittarian flavour is there, the funful, the experimental, the party, all the warmth and positivity of Sagittarius, it's actually likely to be a very Capricorn sort of month. Grounded, needing to pay attention to the practical, feeling perhaps a little serious, and certainly with Saturn making his first movement into his own sign, there is a dignity in being responsible. Normally I would never say the word responsibility around Sagittarius, because we need freedom to explore, and responsibility can put huge brakes on the spontaneity and discoveries of Sagittarius exploration. But of course, in life all the signs are necessary, and this month will be an interesting blend of these two qualities. There is, of course, immense freedom when you do take responsibility for that which is yours. There's a removal of the fear that can dog the footsteps of an explorer, not knowing what's coming next. So the way to work with Saturn in his own sign is to be aware of the physical, aware of your body and its limitations, aware of how far your purse will stretch, your finances, not to go too far. And yet, with all the time we've spent with Saturn in Sagittarius the last 2.5 years, we do know really by now that our beliefs have a huge effect upon our results. A beautiful thing I find in this chart is that the Sun and Moon at 26 degrees are more or less in the midpoint of Saturn and Venus. It's 4 or 5 degrees either side. So Venus is pulled in to a position of importance with this entire Sagittarian flavour. And Venus, of course, is about our relating. It's our connectedness with each other. It's what we attract towards ourselves. So there is a lot of warmth, friendliness. And all that little bunch at the end of Sagittarius trines Uranus. So this freedom, this individuality, Uranus in Aries, is to be taken into Capricorn. We are ourselves, we are responsible for what is ours, and not for what belongs to someone else. Each one is in charge of their own life. We each reap our own results. There is no blame. If we follow incorrect advice, it was our choice to do that. With Mars and Jupiter in Scorpio, there is a lot of energy involved in research, going below the surfaces to find out what's really there. And most beautifully this month, there is the trine to Neptune, indicating that when we do research, the blinds are drawn back. Our intuition reveals the truth. We're likely to feel that in our solar plexus, in our guts, with Mars representing the solar plexus in the body. So it's gut instinct that's liable to be telling us the truth. Whereas if we allow ourselves to follow only the positive thoughts, the upbeat, the let's go for it anyway, fearless quality of Sagittarius, we would be using the square between Neptune and Mercury. All month, almost, Mercury is hanging about in that area where it makes the square. So mentality isn't going to do it for us. We may have very high ideals, but we need to be pragmatic. We need to check. There is a joy in following ideals. They fly high in the sky above us, leading us on. They are not necessarily achievable, but it doesn't make them wrong in guidance. However, we need to know that we may well not reach that ideal. It is like a bird off the ground, and we are planted firmly here. By all means, follow the ideals, enjoying the journey and appreciating all the gifts that come along the way. We need to be not too attached to the end, the goal that we might have set ourselves. This is the picture this month. Mercury retrogrades until the solstice, the 21st of December. As the Sun goes into Capricorn, Mercury begins to go direct. But this is why it's in this position of squaring Neptune for such a long time. The interesting thing, even though we may not be able to trust that the outcome will be what we want, that the ideal is achievable, even though we can't do that perhaps, the thinking is along the right lines. Mercury at 15 degrees trines the North Node. So there's something about this positivity, there's something about the experiments, the newness, that which is rising, the innovative, which is right on target for humanity. It's like Sagittarius galloping ahead, seeing what's over the brow of the hill and shouting back to us, it's that, it's going to be that. But we haven't got there yet. We still have to get to the brow of the hill before we can actually create what it is that Sagittarius can see. The future may well be revealing itself to us right now, but we need to be practical about making our steps towards it. The full moon chart is quite beautiful from an astrological perspective. A beautiful kite shape which involves the sun and moon, making lovely connections to Neptune exact the 11 degrees. Mars is not far off being exact at 14, Jupiter close enough to be part of the pattern. And because of Jupiter being at 17, that even pulls Pluto in. The pattern involves a huge amount of astrological information, and the kite shape has to do with the blend of energies all working together in the triangle, and the sextiled point that makes it into a kite shape is the other element, another element. The triangle is in water, it's emotional, it's to do with our intentions and motivating force, as it were. The Capricorn brings in the ability to ground it, to earth it, to make it practically achievable. As Mars will have trined the Neptune during the last week of December, the whole feeling could already be in place before the full moon, but using the full moon chart to cover the following 2 weeks does suggest that what we have most immediately planned, so perhaps around the beginning of the year, we can actually be more definite about what we are aiming for, and that image will be achievable. The work has to be put in, of course, and it is all earth and water, the heavier elements. Only Mercury connecting with Uranus bring in the fire, the enthusiasm, the brightness. I can almost hear it as music. Most of the orchestra, with the movement forwards, the brass and the strings, all moving forward with beautiful steady steps, and the brightness of a flute leading the whole show, sometimes just going off on a tangent, while the rest of the orchestra continues to move forward, firmly surging along. The second half of this month seems to me that we really get Saturn in Capricorn, as it were, the bit between our teeth, but we want to go for it. The beginning of the year seems to be the time of commitment for the rest of the year, and it's a good, strong and sensible commitment. But the flavour of the whole month does have this Sagittarian excitement about it, to be enthusiastic, to enjoy, to have fun. And I do need also to point out in the chart for the new moon that this group at the end of Sagittarius, wonderfully trining Uranus, as it does, independent and you're wow, let's go for it, it also squares Chiron. So we do need to be careful that in going for it, we don't tread on more sensitive and perhaps slower people, even the slower parts of ourself. We need to be aware that any sudden and wow movement is liable to hit somebody inadvertently. Take care, either before, or if you can't do it before, at least after you have made a strong movement, a strong piece of behaviour or a decision about something, said something. Just check that everyone who was in the vicinity is still okay. Take care of those who are not so joyful because of their circumstances. Be gentle, as well as enjoying yourself. And remember that it is what we feel in ourselves that we give out. And one of the important things about that is that not only do other people get it from us, but we surround ourselves with it. We have much more joyful experiences in life when we find the joy inside. Bless you. Have fun. Open your heart to receive. The gift is yours already, but your acceptance is required. Nothing will be forced on you that doesn't belong and didn't have its roots already in your being. And nothing will be delivered to you that you are unable to handle. But your willingness to receive it eases the flow. Your world is a reflection of your inner world. As within, so without. As above, so below. Therefore, enjoy yourself in every moment, everywhere. Enjoy your companions, your work, your life. Sharing that joy from your open heart surrounds you with warmth, light, and love.